We are here at we're kind of here at the Deer Turkey Waterfowl Expo. It's the show within a show in the next pavilion. It's the 65th annual Ford Boat Sport and Travel Show. We are right in the heart of everything in the Travel Cafe, the Champions Pavilion, and we are doing Indie Sports Show live, and I'm the host, Brian Pointer. We've had a great afternoon. We still have so much more to come. We're going to be here again all day tomorrow. And as I mentioned, there's a very special addition to our lineup. The very last one of the day, we're going to be doing Twiggy, the water skiing squirrel. Is going to be on the couch where John is right now.
Awesome.
You know, you're just a warm up for Twiggy, the water skiing squirrel.
Figures.
So John Gates, the Hoosier Canoe and Kayak Club.
Yes.
Long history, 1965.
55 years.
And you have a very diverse membership. You've got 500 plus members.
Correct.
Canoers, kayakers, paddlers.
Fishermen, sea kayakers, rafters, we have it all. And what's really cool about our club is we are very family oriented. So, you know, you're going to see kids young as 7, 8 years old paddling little kayaks, all the way to great grandparents paddling canoes, kayaks. And they're going to be all out there. They're going to be having a great time. They're away from the computers. They're just enjoying nature.
You know, we've heard this a lot about the associations, the people that come to this show, the clubs, whether you're hiking or you're canoeing or you're kayaking. This whole area here has really been dedicated to the quiet sports. That's been a huge...
That's correct.
Bicyclers, kayakers, paddlers. It just seems like it's taken off into a life of its own world. And looking at some of the kayaks that are over in the next building, those have changed an awful lot too.
Yes, the designs, I started in 1977, and the guys that I learned how to kayak from made their own boats out of fiberglass. They would be in their garages and their basements, and building these molds. And when they'd bring out these little kayaks that their kids would paddle, and I got a hand-me-down from one of the kids when I started. And when plastic started coming around in the mid-70s, they were heavy, long boats compared to what we have now. And then even the canoes. You know, my family's first canoe was an 18-foot Drummond canoe, aluminum canoe. And you hit every rock, you could hear it a mile away.
Yep, I had one of those. Why do people join these types of clubs? What do you try to promote when you pay a $20 membership? What can somebody benefit from joining this club?
The camaraderie that we have is very similar, because I'm in the military. It's very similar to the camaraderie that I have with my fellow soldiers. It's a family, and I grew up in the club, so I consider it my family. The people that you travel with, I'm the whitewater chair. So when we go paddle whitewater, we're 8 hours sometimes in a car. You get to know people very, very well.
Yeah.
The guys that I learned how to paddle with are like my older brothers and sisters. One guy I call on Father's Day, and yes, I still have my father, but he's my river father. You don't get those in, okay, let's go and hop in a motorboat. You don't get that. You don't get that camaraderie.
Yeah.
Very similar to like the firefighters, they're saying of you go, we go. And that's so much like when you're paddling a river, a whitewater stretch, and one person flips out of his boat and he's swimming, everybody goes and works to save that person.
So you bring up another benefit, I'm sure, and that's safety.
Yes.
I've heard you talk about events, practice.
Correct. And what we as a club promote is safety first. And we teach people how to safely do this sport. I'm also a swiftwater rescue instructor, so I teach people how to avoid obstacles and dangers so that they can see and identify like a tree in the water. You stay away from that thing. And then we'll get into the Lowhead Dams initiative that we do around here in the Midwest. We have a lot of lowhead dams.
Describe what that is.
What that is a concrete structure or a stone structure that retains water, but the water goes over it. So we
That's
have
bad for a canoe.
Oh yeah, very, and it sets up, and we can talk about that kind of that danger. But what that, or most of the low-head dams are privately owned, or companies that own these, and it holds back water for whatever reason they have. Here in Indianapolis, it's usually like with the storm water and water retention and things like that. So you have these low-head dams, the water goes over the top of it and goes straight down and then forms what's called a hydraulic. It's basically a circular motion that can hold logs, people, boats, and then it doesn't release them real easily.
Yeah.
And when people see the kayaking videos, oh hey, there's John going over that waterfall, that's a little bit different, completely different than what these low-head dams are.
So how big of a problem is this in Indiana?
There were a lot of people died last year because of this. And so they're huge danger. And just saying, oh, hey, we need to remove all these things, that's not always possible.
And obviously, are they well marked? Are they?
No, not a lot of times they're not. But DNR has on their website all the low-head dams, where they're located. So we encourage people, you don't need to be a club member. We want you to paddle safely for the community. So know where you're going to paddle. From point A, where you're going to put in on that stream, to point B, where you're going to take off. What's between there? Is there a low-head dam? Is there a bridge that's a low-water bridge? And because those are culverts, they've got drive over them, farm machineries typically, and they're dangerous.
So joining a group like the Hoosier Kayak Canoeing Group, when you join this group, there's a benefit of membership and meetings. You guys had a pretty cool speaker last year at one of your events. Lonnie Bedwell came.
Yes.
Tell me that story.
Lonnie's just a phenomenal guy.
He's kind of a badass.
Yeah, he is. This is a man that lost his sight, and so many other people said, no, I'm going to just basically live a non-existent life. But no, this guy said, no way. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to live life. I'm going to try things to, because people say I can't do it. So he's done like the Grand Canyon several times now. I think he's blind. I think he's on his fifth time.
Because the first three obviously weren't very fulfilling.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Well, but everybody that I know that does the Grand Canyon, they want to go back because just that whole atmosphere is incredible.
So the benefit of coming to those types of social gatherings is to hear such great inspirational stories. You mentioned Whitewater. You're chair of the Whitewater section of your group. Let's talk about the White River Initiative.
Yes.
What is that?
That is bringing back White River to clean water, more cleaner water, and actually the public can use the river for recreational use, so that we can, it's just not just floating through there and like, okay, hey, it's this dirty area for people not really to use. So we're bringing it back and enjoying that.
So one of the beautiful things about doing this is we get questions, and obviously Facebook Live, YouTube Live. How much does membership cost?
$20 for a year.
You can't even go see a movie for that.
Oh, I know. It's dirt cheap. And what we as an organization do is we do a lot of intro to kayaking, canoeing. I teach swiftwater rescue. And I teach the kayaking, or the whitewater kayaking. And when you join, you'll get the membership list and what our schedules are for the different disciplines.
And that's coming out about now, right?
Correct.
So you guys do stuff from far south up into Canada.
Correct.
And you guys are developing these trips almost every week, right?
Yeah, about every weekend there's some trip going on. Like for Whitewater, we're going to start really paddling here next weekend. And then out of state will be in about 2 weeks from now. We'll start paddling out of state.
So what haven't I asked you? What do you want people that are listening or see this to know about either your club or paddling or canoeing that we haven't talked about?
Honestly, before you go out, know where you're going to paddle, because it's a safety issue. And also letting people know that if you're going to go out, don't paddle alone. Paddle with a group, or paddle with a few people that know the river, know where, okay, hey, I just got injured. Where am I going to have to go to get help?
Another good question.
And to wear life jackets. You need to wear your life jacket.
So one of the questions that we just got from one of the folks watching right now is, do you guys actually provide a canoe or a kayak for someone who doesn't have it?
We will. There's club members that you can borrow at first couple times, but eventually you will need to buy your own boat.
But if somebody said, hey, I'm kind of like an apprentice, try it till you see if you like it, you guys should probably hook them up with that.
We can do that.
So we talk about safety. We've talked about the goals of the club. How do you pick the right canoe for yourself?
That is such an open question, because
I'm a master.
Okay. First off, what do you want to do with it?
Right.
Where do you want to go? Do you want to paddle across the lake here? Right over here, there's a stripped canoe. Oh my God, that is absolutely beautiful wood that the guy's using. Would I want to go and paddle a rocky river with it? Oh
right.
no.
Yep.
I'd cry every time I'd crack or I'd scrape that across a rock. So, is it a flat? Is it primarily used for the lake, or a flat like White River is typically flat, doesn't have a lot of rocks showing? Or are you going to the extreme? You're going to be paddling on the Gauley River in West Virginia.
I've been there.
And
I'm not doing that in a canoe.
Well, there's guys
or
that do.
Kayak.
And it's fun. It's a great time.
We watched them all the time. I've been on the Gauley 5 or 6 times in a raft, and it still makes pucker. And I don't know how you guys get out there in a raft.
It's fun. We have a great time
canoe,
in a kayak. And the Gauley is one of my favorite rivers. I used to work.
Talk about drinking through a fire hose. Oh my gosh. Well, we appreciate you so much coming and talking about your club, and I know you got a lot of people here. You got some experts from able to answer all the questions that we haven't gotten to. Thanks to those who also are live sending in their questions. We are here in the Champions Pavilion. It is the 65th annual Ford Boat Sport and Travel Show. The Travel Cafe. It's only getting better from here. It's Indy Sports Show Live, and I'm your host, Brian Pointer.